Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today. Just a huge pause for no apparent reason. Because I was just like, what do I usually say here? And then I had to run through the sentence in my mind, be like, what do I usually say? Think it through. Boom, done. Did I title today's YouTube episode? I did, for the porcupine. How much have I recorded in advance? I've recorded more than 9 souls. I kind of wanted to I'm fighting the boss of that level in 9 souls, and I'm just like, I just want to see what's going on. I want to see what more happens. But anyway, hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:14 PM on Thursday, February 19th, 2026. We're visiting a campsite, so we'll go visit them. That'll be about it. To be honest, we'll be chilling, we'll be relaxing, or cool, shooting some b-ball outside of school. Yes, what am I going to talk about today? I don't really know. There's nothing really to say about Gacha. Did I get Valentine's Bourbon on Umu's Mate? I did. It didn't take that many balls. I think it took 60 or something, so it's not too bad. What else? But there's nothing going on. Like, I'm actually playing through the Honkai Star Rail quest. So there's a thing. I play quite a few of these like story-based gacha games, and I do love the story in each of them. Well, more so, I should say, I like a combination of story, characters, and world. Is it the best in literature history? No. But it's in a medium which I like, and, offer styles I like, and obviously plays into tropes that I'm sure I like more than maybe other tropes. I don't know. Because I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh, Genshin Impact story is like greater than, I don't know why Agatha Christie came to mind, but Agatha Christie renowned writer or something, but like historical classics or anything like that. That's not what I mean to say, but I do enjoy them. So Honkai Star Rail is definitely like a story arc of Amphoreus is one that I enjoyed a lot when it first came out, but then I slowly fell behind in it because the story quests are really long. But like each one is like 6 hours long or something, which to be fair, they come out like every month and a half or something. So it's only really like an hour a week. But once you start falling behind on one, then it's really easy to fall behind on all of them. But recently, I was talking to a friend about it, being like, oh yeah, maybe I'll finish it off, because she was also playing through and she was like catching up with the story as well. And I was like, okay, I'll catch up. And I basically finished the story which was in the 2.4 story quest, which is Finon's release banner. And I was like, this is incredible. this is so good. Again, I don't mean to say, like, is it the best in the world? No, probably not. But I incredibly enjoyed it based on it. Sorry. We can't promise catching things because that makes it difficult. It'd be a lot easier if you asked to buy something, which I had. Which just goes to show, money is what builds friendships. I'm joking. But yeah, playing catch up on these stories is kind of wild. Because I mean, I've been playing like some of the story quests in a game called Enfield. What do I think of it, like, so far? Like, I've completed Valley 4. What do I think of it? It's okay, I would say. I don't think it's not like to a point where I'm like, this is super memorable. I think a lot of it is kind of like iffy. But I think it does some things pretty well. Like, it kind of it does kind of nail that sort of like capitalist expansion-esque vibe, but I'm also not entirely hooked yet. But as I said to my friend, I'm like, I'm willing to give it a chance, because I'm like, the premise here is interesting enough. It very much depends on if they stick the landing or execute it. But if it ends up not being interesting enough, then I will just drop that game, so be it. As fun as the AIC gameplay is, I think if anything, I'm just like, well, maybe I'll just go play Satisfactory or something instead. Honkai Star Rail, at least, I like return-based mechanics of it, even if they're relatively simple. And honestly, Honkai Star Rail story is really good. Genshin Impact, I'm pretty behind. I've heard the Nod Cry story is pretty good. But that's basically, I haven't played any of that. You are Mittens. Mary, that's it. Who's Mittens? I need to look up now. Animal Crossing Mittens. Character? There's no character called Mittens. Okay, never mind. There's Mitzi. I know there's Mitzi. I thought you were Mittens for some reason. But yes. Yeah, so Genshin Impact, I'm basically entire world behind. I mean, Star Rail, I'm also now like a world behind. But my plan is basically to catch up with Honkai Star Rail quest, and then eventually move to the Genshin and the ZZZ ones. ZZZ I'm not too far behind, I think. I think the last story quest I played was 2.1. I think we're on 2.5 at the moment? Or 6? Wait, I'm trying to think. 2.2, which was Alice and User, which I started but I haven't finished. 2.3, which was Lucia and Yatari. 2.4 is someone. Dylan and Zhao. Okay, we might be on 2.6, so we might be a bit behind. It doesn't feel that long ago that I was playing with 2.1 story, because back when I played on the release of the patch, and it was with the 2.2 story I fell behind, because it was the main story and then there was a summer quest, and I was like, okay, I'm going to prioritise doing the summer quest because that's limited. But yeah, I mean, I definitely feel more invigorated to play through the story now. After completing Star Rail's 2.4 story, I'm like, damn, that was so good. Now I'm partway through 2.5 as well, and I'm like, this is also really good. Like, I don't know. Like, again, I don't mean to say it's the peakest story of all time, but I do mean to say that I do thoroughly enjoy them. And it's nice being able to catch up on these stories. Because, I mean, it's kind of just like the same as being like, oh, what if I just like sit down and like watch a movie, you know? Or like a series that I haven't done for like a super long time, or anything like that. Or like ever done. Like Star Wars or something. Or it's just, you know, what was the motivator for it? Is that my friends wanted to watch Star Wars 7 in cinemas, and I was like, I haven't seen 4, 5, 6. I guess I'll just go watch them. And then I watched them, and I can remember very little from them, to be honest. Sorry, Star Wars fan. Star Wars, not my thing. Well, I think it was okay, but like I also did watch it and was like, damn, this probably would have been pretty much cooler over time. Not that it isn't cool now, but it's like, didn't stick as much in my mind, unfortunately. But yeah. What do I mean to say about that? No, not really. It just, you know, catching up on the story and all that. Just it's a fun time. To be honest. But there's always interest, I think, in doing so. I mean, that is like one of the nice things of having these catch-up stories. It's the fact that there will always be like some media to engage with. And previously before where I was like, oh, I don't have anything to do right now. What am I going to do just to waste time? Not literally waste time, but you know what I mean, just sort of like chillax. I'd be like, I don't know, I guess I'll go watch a video or something. Now I'm like, okay, well, why don't I game to a Honkai Star Rail story or something like that? And eventually, I'll catch up with everything. Because I think the thing that makes it so intimidating is like, oh yeah, it's 6 hours of story, but really actually if you play it, it's only like 3 to 4 hours or something. Because when I play, I don't let it play in auto mode because that's too slow. I read the line, you know, I hear the voice, I suppose, and then I keep going forward. You sort of speed run the parts which aren't the story, or you play at your own pace, so it's not as intimidating. Break it down. Break it down now, y'all. So yeah, that's about it. No D&D tonight. We have D&D tomorrow, though. What's going to happen with D&D? I think it's actually probably going to be quite a relaxed D&D. That's my assumption. There probably isn't too much that is going on. That's not true, but it's more like the stuff which is happening. It's more like wrapping everything up. And then, no, I'm not going to say it because who knows. Yeah. It is interesting. It is interesting. Yeah, so catching up on story. It's nice time. I find out I'm doing it with Miss Me as well sometimes, where I'm just like, instead of just like having a whole thing being like, oh, I'm just gonna read entire character story, that's too much. I'll just be like, okay, I'll just like slowly watch a character story for when I feel like it, you know? So I read character stories of, I don't know which characters I think I've had. I've read Gold City, Aston Machan, Agnes Digitals. Why? I was just like, I thought that was interesting. And then for some other characters, I'll read the stories in the campaign. Essentially. Like, I've done it for Mihano Bulban. And I think Norishi Taishin. So really random ones. I don't think I've even done it for Gold City, is my favourite character. Yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to think what others... Because it also makes me think of games which I played ages ago but never actually got around to like finishing. That's what it feels like right now, except it's a lot easier, I think, to do this, to play these gacha stories. and do that necessarily and catch up on big things. What things I've been catching up on? Not a lot, really. Oh yeah, I just opened Steam just to sort of look at things. I did forget the Rabbit and Steel merch. I'm still undecided if I want to get it or not. Because I do kind of conceptually like the idea of a hoodie, but I'd actually like the hoodie better if it didn't have the Rabbit and Steel like logo or art on it, or if it was much more minimalist. But that's just me. I like very simple sort of styles and patterns. So having something just so explicitly say media property on, I'm never a fan of, to be honest. But if something had like a small icon which represented media property, I'm like, yes, that's what I'm about. I don't know, I guess maybe if anything that's representative of me being like, oh, I like the patterns of things, I don't like necessarily the association of the media property. Even though I do like a media property, I don't want to wear the media property. Maybe that's it. What's a game I haven't finished yet, but should finish? I think Papers, Please is a big one, isn't it? That's one I've played quite a few times and never got around to finishing it. Yeesh. What else am I talking about? I'm trying to think at this point. There's not much else to say with like catching up with stories. Catch up with dropout videos as well. That's a nice thing. Like I've caught up now, but I wasn't that far behind on videos. I watched the Make Some Noise video, the Zinnia VIP video. But I'm actually video tag team episode. I'm not watching the Dimension 20. I think Dimension 20 is fun. I'm not gonna lie. I do like stories, but it's just too much. I can't do this and Honkai Star Rail story quest, you know. If I did those both in one day, you know how many hours that would take? But to be fair, probably would be a lot easier if I did it as cohesively in one rather than others. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just want to carry on with the story right now, to be honest. I might record some stuff today on YouTube, but I guess I don't necessarily need to. Thanks to me being too eager to play Nine Souls. But it would be nice to basically be more than 1 week ahead. Yeah, maybe I'll record some Fallout Porcupine. It's probably a good day to do so. The problem with Lorelei is and how it's gotten to a point where it takes a lot of thinking about what I'm doing in it, which makes it rather difficult. But I mean, that's the point of the channel. To be like, yes, I'm going to regularly play this game. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do it. You're going to persevere through. Not because, like, I don't like playing a game. It's more like I dislike sometimes getting that motivation to really start playing a game. But yeah, that's about it. I wonder what's like the longest I put something on the back burner. You know, the longest I've left something to come back to and eventually pick it up again. And eventually just like resume something. To be fair, it took me a very long time to read Flowers for Algernon. Like I think I did that over the course of like 8 months or something. It's not even a very long book or something. I just read like a large portion of it, like within the first 2 months, and then I just kind of stopped for a bit. I did actually really like it. And to be fair, I do have Never Let Me Go here, which I haven't even started yet. Because normally I have it to read on like public transportation, but the problem is I don't actually like reading much on public transportation. Instead, I just take naps. Which you might say that kind of flies counter to bringing it with you. But that's also true. That's also true. But I don't really have a good explanation or answer to that, to be honest. Anywho. Let's think of Fawnhallow. I really thought I'd have more to say about this, but no, it's just about catching up with the story. But it's also hard to talk about the story because I don't want to spoil things, but also it is like a year old or something. You know what is a very fun part about it? Is there's this really cool gacha YouTuber called Ashkai, who, well, my focus isn't really on the gacha element of the games, it's more so on the lore about, you know, worlds and games, and she covers, you know, the Hoyoverse games, and it's really fun to now watch her videos after playing the story and being like, yes, now I can watch it and see what other sort of theories she had at the time, that sort of thing. Or like her overall predictions at the beginning, being like, now, how close was she? She's genuinely actually really good, mainly because she's like a detective. She's all the pieces put together. She's not always 100% right, of course, but she's very, very accurate and far better at guessing than what I could have done. Well, it's not even guessing, it's actually structured deductions. She also like reads all the different all that, so I think that's actually one of the most funnest parts of catching up. But I think it's also, you know, it's quite a lot to sort of consume the entire 6-hour story about. It's like, I remember the big high emotional moments, but, you know, the smaller parts, I'm just like, sometimes it gets a bit lost in my mind. So being able to watch it to sort of like redigest it all again is really nice. So I was doing YouTube thumbnail. Catching back up. We'll have an arrow, and it goes like this. 1 by 1. That's how I put the tagline. The downside is now, instead of at late night, instead of doing the Animal Crossing thumbnail, I'm now playing Honkai Star Rail, catching up with the story. So will I get my Animal Crossing thumbnail out done in time? I certainly hope so. If I don't, whoops. But anyway, on that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.